In the studio chatting with us right now, we have Sam Maranto talking about the Sam Maranto Show, meditation methods, Sam Maranto's meditation methods, All Faith Self-Help Center, which is located on Indian School Road in Phoenix and has been for Sam, how many years?
30.
30.
30 years, the same location.
Seems like only yesterday, doesn't it, Sam?
It seems so.
Joining us later in the program will be his lovely wife, Cynthia Maranto. But first, we're going to talk to Sam a little bit about 30 years and how was it born? How did this all start, Sam?
Well, actually, I lived in Worcester, Massachusetts. And there was a tornado in 1953 where 90 people died, and I was standing right in the area. And I missed it by a matter of 5 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So I was studying the mind in Boston, Massachusetts with a Dr. Rexford North, and then I decided I wanted to start my own center, and everybody that I knew, I'd put them in a chair and start doing hocus pocus on them. They said, "Get out of here, Sam, get out of here." You know?
Start doing hocus pocus.
Yeah. So after this tornado, I was working as a door-to-door salesman. And
I can see you as a daughter.
and I was good at it.
You're good.
I was good
You
at
were very,
it.
yeah.
I broke all kinds of national records for the company. But anyway, I knocked on this door. The guy came to the door and he says, "Don't you read the papers?" He says, "We lost our baby. It was pulled from my wife's arms out in the wind took it, and they found the baby dead. And for 4 months, the wife was sitting in a rocking chair, looking out the window, looking for the baby to come back."
Oh,
And the husband was losing his job. He had 3 other kids.
how sad.
She had 25 doctors. They were going to put her in a nursing home because he couldn't work. He had to take care of the kids. And I was dressed up in a tailor-made suit. I had a new car outside. I knocked on the door. And I said, "Let me talk to her. Maybe I can help her." And the guy looked at the car and looked at me, and he says, 25 doctors couldn't help her, and you're going to help her, right? And I was selling Electrolux vacuum cleaners.
There you go. I remember them well.
Yeah.
The canisters?
I used to sell 100 a month.
Yeah.
You
My
couldn't
mom
even-
had one. You probably sold
I
one
probably
in your
sold it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy let me in, and she's sitting in a chair. The guy says it's so bad that he has to change her like a baby. She'd go to the bathroom in her clothes. So I walked up to her and I held a pen over her eyes. And I said, "You're relaxed. I don't want to do it on the air. Someone will fall asleep."
It might be me, Sam.
so her head falls forward. And I said, "What are you doing sitting in this chair? Your baby's up with God at a better place than the mess down here. Your husband's losing his job. You got 3 other kids not being taken care of. I want you out of that chair right now taking care of this family." Of course, I went into more details. I says, "Put on a pot of coffee." She jumps up out of the chair, goes to the kitchen sink and puts on a pot of tea. And she says, "Young man, I'll let you know we don't drink coffee in this house." See, you can't make a person do what they don't want to do.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the husband walked out to the car and he says, "How did you do that? How did you get her out of that chair?" So 3 months later, he called the office, he talked to the manager, and he gave a description of me. He didn't even know my name. He says, "Tell him I'm back to work. My wife is back taking care of the family. God sent him to my house." So I've been doing this kind of work for years.
And that's how it all started.
But how did you know how to get her into that subconscious, hypnotic, whatever word, I don't know, I'm probably using the incorrect state. How did you know how to do that?
Well, you know, how did Elvis Presley know how to sing? He never took a lesson. It's
Innate.
a gift.
It's a gift, okay.
Some people get gifts. God gives us all a gift.
Right.
You both got a gift because you're great on what you do. It's a great show. What do you think, folks?
Oh, Sam's right there.
Thank you very much, Sam. We appreciate that. But yeah, I think you're right in a lot of ways. But did you know you had that gift? Is that the moment that you knew you had that gift, or did you know it before then?
Well, you know, the very first person I ever worked with was my mother. My mother was in a car wreck. She kept complaining about her back, going to the doctor, and she had a ball about the size of an egg on her back. And they went to court, and they got a bunch of money. My stepfather spent all the money, and my mother was sitting there in the house saying, I need an operation, I'm going to be crippled. He spent all the money, there's no money for the operation. So I says, Ma, close your eyes. And look at her in a trance. This is a true story.
We're laughing at Sam, not the process.
I says to my mother, I says, you didn't even get hurt. You kept complaining to get the insurance money. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with your back. You grew this ball in your back yourself with your own thoughts. Yeah.
That's all
About 6 months went by, and I says, Ma, how's your back? She goes, the lump was gone. Yeah. Disappeared.
So that's
how powerful your mind is, folks.
That's where you're going.
You can make yourself, you can get cancer, you can have all kinds of problems with your own thoughts and your own mind.
And that's the secret, isn't it, Sam? Or is it a secret?
I've been talking about the secret for years. Now they got tapes about
now
the secret.
Now they have the book out and tapes. The power
so you really
of the
created
mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It all starts in the mind.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you're in your mother's womb, being formed, if your mother's happy, you could grow up being a happy, content person.
Mm-hmm.
If your mother's depressed or unhappy while carrying a child, especially if she wants to abort, has too many children, doesn't want to be pregnant, you could be born with depression and go to 100 psychiatrists giving you pills and never got to the root of the problem. My sessions take you back in the womb. It's kind of a rebirth, and I program people like a computer, because this is nothing but a computer. 5 ways of being programmed: through smells, through taste, through hearing, through feeling, through seeing. And the Bible states that faith comes by going to a psychiatrist and talking about your problems. No. Faith comes by hearing. By hearing. And I make up these CDs where people put into a machine and they listen. And you have ears, listen. If you put into practice the good things you hear, you get life in abundance. If you don't listen, you may lose the very little you have.
Well,
that comes from the Bible.
And Sam, I'll tell you, you've been doing this a long time, so apparently...
Who are we to dispute you?
We're not here to say that, and Sam's going to stay with us.
Yes, more when we come back, joined by his lovely wife, Cynthia. Don't go away.
You know.
Oh, I'm gonna face
Yes,
Worcester County, definitely. Not the exact town, but just 12 miles south. What was I? I was born and raised.
Good
It's
to see you again.
a bunch of rebels.
Yeah, but how many years ago was that? That was 50 years ago.
What?
The tornado I'm talking about.
Oh, the tornado.
1953.
We grew up hearing stories about the tornado because it's the only one that's ever been. There was infamous.
Man, I'll tell
Yes. Used to,
I think
they loved
10,000
talking about
were
that
injured.
tornado in Worcester County.
I got a better story than that one I told you about the
Yeah.
baby about that tornado.
Oh,
That is scary, though.
and it's amazing how one house it'll jump one person. It just
Maybe to Tom.
it's so selective.
Test, how are you doing today?
Closer to Sam.
Doing great.
Place in Chino.
As Tanya promised, joining us now, the very lovely Cynthia Morano. And you know what? We appreciate you being here, Cynthia. And
Thank you for
of
having
course,
me here.
Sam speaks truth when he talks about the mind
Oh, yeah.
being the instigator of all and the curer of all, right?
That's definitely where it's at.
Now, how did you meet Sam?
Oh, God, do you have an hour show? It's a long story.
Yes, we do.
Well, as a matter of fact, we do, yes.
Well, long story short, I came to work for him, and I was curious as to what he was doing, and I didn't understand it at the time, so I started listening to the sessions, getting more familiar. And started listening to sessions that were unlocking some troubles I had, and started realizing that I was starting to lose weight, got over migraine headaches. I mean, this was over a period of time, but learned all these things about myself, and it goes into other stuff too I won't get into, but I rediscovered myself through his sessions.
And from a work relationship, it blossomed into a romance.
Yes, it did.
And that was 27 years ago.
She's put up with you for
For
27 years.
27
Well,
years.
That's remarkable. That's a record.
I'll tell you what, relationships, I work on relationships too, and every now and then I need help with it. We all do.
Well, sure.
There's no perfect
It's
relationship.
an ongoing process. At the break, we were talking about in the early days, because there's been several that have known that we're ahead of the game, that this mind of ours.
That's a good planned word, ahead of the game.
Thank you.
That
Thank you
was
very much. You're
good.
very quick.
That's good.
But really and truly, years ago, when you were selling Electrolux, people didn't know that the mind had this great power. We thought it was kind of voodoo, kind of mystic. And now it's kind of coming into mainstream, isn't it, Sam?
Well, you know, the word hypnosis means sleep artificially induced. The greatest hypnotists in the world are rockabye baby on the treetop.
Oh, yes.
Mothers.
Till you lay him down.
And God forbid if
Right.
your mother
Right.
had some problems,
Yeah.
she could have programmed them into her children. And actually, I'm a de-hypnotist. Because people that have problems with depression or pain, they're usually already hypnotized. And I don't even call it hypnosis, I call it guided meditation.
So you're waking them up.
Right. Well, guided meditation is written in the Bible many times. There's a verse in the Bible that says, lay down in your bed, close your eyes, and open your mind to the Lord. Well, what I do is work for the Lord, and I give suggestions to prosper, to be happy, to forgive. A lot of people are angry at people in the family or friends, and that anger is making them sick, and they're taking pills because of the anger. It's better to forgive and let go of your problems, and this is what I teach.
Well, now you mentioned mother a couple times, not forgetting the father. Parents pretty much pass on their phobias, their fears, their anxieties to their children.
Right.
Don't
That's
you
true.
think they do that? We do that.
More so by mother because we come from within mom and from
Exactly.
the womb. And mothers have a bigger influence over their children than a father will ever have.
Right.
And if you're lucky enough to have a positive mother, which you two must have had.
Yes,
Then-
very positive. Well, she's the perfect child. I don't know if,
Yeah.
Sam, she doesn't need
perfect
any
child.
help. I don't know if you've watched the program, but this,
I have.
she doesn't need any help. I need all the help.
Yes, sure.
You did great. Great.
So yes, parents do pass on to their children. I mean, simply like if a parent's afraid of the dentist, that child's going to be afraid of the dentist or whatever. I'm just pulling that out.
Yeah, exactly. Now Sam, how do you work with people? I show up. What do you do
Yeah.
for me? How do we go through the process?
Well, this is an evaluation that's quite detailed. It's
Oh,
got
God, I'm not good with those.
214 questions.
Wow.
And after they fill this out, I go through it along with some of my staff, and we make up a set of cassette tapes, believe it or not, I still have them, or CDs, and they put them by their bed. They relax, they meditate, they open up their mind, and I tell them, accept my ideas you like, reject the ideas you don't like, you're in control, maybe for the very first time in your life. And I bring them back into mom's womb, and I reprogram them. And this program is so powerful, I could empty mental institutions. You know, I met the governor once. I says, I will put sessions in the institutions free.
Yeah.
And she says, I'll refer you to the psychology department. They didn't want to know me.
Well, what does this analysis tell you, though? What does this tell you?
Incidentally, Yale Hospital in New Haven has been using my sessions since 1990.
Wow.
And I just sent them some new ones recently. Now, what did you,
That is a detail of your whole life.
yeah,
basically.
this will ask a question like, if my mother only, And a lot of people will say if she didn't leave my father, if she didn't drink, if she only loved me as much as my brother.
Okay.
So I know something about the person's life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if my father only didn't leave my mom.
So Sam, are you trying to drag up their scars as well as the?
I'm trying to remove the scars.
He gets to the root of the matter.
To the root of the matter, but you gotta be open about it, and you gotta open up in order for you to
Well, the people that sign up in the course, they fill this out, and they come into my office one time, and then we can mail them the sessions, and they can be living in Chicago, New York. It's not that they have to go back and forth all the time, because people drop out when they have to do that.
Sam and Cynthia staying with us. Joining when we come back, Barbara Monte's going to join us, a former client, or maybe still client.
Barbara Monte came to me 16 years ago, and we got a clip showing her 16 years ago. And you'll see me 16 years younger.
You will see her now. Okay, stay right there.
Lasting results.
When we come back, Sam and Cynthia with us.
You're right.
She had headaches for years.
And that's the real.
No, I have my sinuses bothering me all the
It's okay. It'll be so quick. I think he's really just going to probably say, "Do you feel okay?" And you'll probably say yes.
Yes.
It'll be that, really that brief. Could you,
What?
could you just say a few words now that I'm not touching you?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Am I coming on?
Yeah,
Yes.
I got a studio.
Experience.
Sam and Cynthia Maranto with us talking about lifestyle changes and how it can affect your life, every department of your life. I have a picture here. This gentleman almost lost me. Lost 125 pounds.
Amazing.
Yes. And you're going to be opening a Spanish
Center.
Yeah, well, we're making sessions in Spanish. He interprets what I say. He lost 125 pounds, got over mini stroke and thyroid cancer.
Amazing.
And he's only 42, and he's been after me. You got to help the Spanish people. There's no help for them. They got the highest rate of diabetes.
And you're doing just that. But the other thing, Sam, is there's so many fad diets out there. Those quick fixes. You know, here, try this. Eat tomatoes for a year, or eat grapefruit. I mean, there's been a million of them.
million.
But what you're doing is a
diets don't work.
lifestyle change.
Lifestyle
Yeah, you
change.
have to change your lifestyle. If you don't change lifestyle, I'm later now than when I was 18.
Speaking of
Okay?
lifestyle-
I practice what I preach.
Speaking of lifestyle change, set us up for what we're going to see right now.
Well, I have my own television shows, and I've had them for over 20 years. And 16 years ago, a lady from Prescott came to me for a severe headache she had for over 10 years, and she wanted to lose 20 pounds. And I did a little clip of her in my office. It's not the greatest production. If we can roll that clip now, and they can see the clip. And
Hi, I'm Barbara Monte. This is my husband, Robert Monte, and my granddaughter, Michelle Monte. And I've lost 31 pounds, and I have no headaches since about 8 months ago because of coming to San Maranto. Before, I had 25 years of headaches, off and on to the doctors daily.
Daily headaches.
Off and on to the doctors, hypnotists, psychologists, all kinds of medication, and nothing would work.
Most unbelievable. Besides the fact that she's lost 31 pounds, my wife has had headaches for 25 years.
Unbelievable.
Barbara, no headaches?
No headaches. I don't have any more headaches. I've kept my weight off, and it's all thanks to Sam Maranto.
So you're giving the Sam the stamp of approval, aren't you?
Oh boy, am I!
Well, you're marvelous. Thank you for being on the show, and what a great story. Yeah,
it is.
Time is much too short. We're running out of time, and I'm so sorry we have to cut it short. Sam, promise to come back?
I will. We need a whole hour.
We have to come back.
We
We
need
have so
5
much
hours.
more to tell you.
I know.
Absolutely. Cynthia, thank you. Sam, as always, thank you.
Thank
my
you.
friend.
Check out my website or call my number and come into Phoenix, but I'm opening a place in Chino.
Yeah.
If I get enough calls, I'm going to open the doors.
Great.
So let me know if you want a place in Chino.
Please call.
We will look forward to that. Again, Sam, Cynthia, thank you so much. And now Tanya's going to talk about one of our great sponsors. We love these folks, Black Arrow.
Black Arrow Indian Art, second floor, Bashford Courts. Let me tell you, they have jewelry that is so exquisite, you have to see it to believe it. Pendleton Room, we occasionally wear Pendleton right here on the show. But they are so fabulous in that store. When you walk in the store, they just treat you like family, a friend, a lifelong old friend they haven't seen for a long time. Go through the stores, and if you're in San Diego, check out the new John Allen Woodward store. You will just be amazed at the leatherwork. I can't describe it. You have to see it to believe it. Second floor, Bashford Courts, right here in Prescott.
Coming up next.
Today's show is brought to you by Black Arrow Indian Art Gallery and the Pendleton Room.
Do not forget, put it in your book right now. Sam's show follows ours, so be sure and catch Sam right after our show of AM Arizona. It's always enlightening.
And again, as he said, if he gets enough calls, they're going to open a center in Chino Valley. That would be fabulous. I think he mentioned, like, on the weekends he would be at that center, helping people with all kinds of problems in their life.
Really,
weight loss, depression, headaches, whatever.
From A to Z, and don't forget the Spanish. She's got a Spanish session coming up.
All mind control. I'm thinking Lou's going on vacation.
Boy, you're brilliant. We are. And, of course, I will be here tomorrow, so you can't get rid of me that easily. Last day tomorrow, and then I'm on my way.
And speaking of tomorrow, it's the Rose Restaurant, along with the International Skateboarding Day in Prescott, and photography contest and tips for the perfect picture. All that tomorrow. You come on back here.
And check Sam out, coming up next.